but we're already in this draft, and we're all the way through it. DogChamp, they got Yarn Marcy. They've got a Zeus. I'm a little bit sad that it's just going to be an RCY Zeus, or it feels like it should be, because Wolf Team have not only their most successful opener, but probably the scariest opener in the game right now. And you probably love to see that, hero. We get some more Pango action,
Dude,
which then puts a question mark on the Zeus, but okay, here we
yeah,
go.
I was gonna say, where is this Pango going? It could be off lane, but you're into mid lane Void Spirit, so that's where I'm like, I don't really know. I like.
Yeah.
I love the opener from Wolf Team. I saw Primal Beast techies, and I'm like, all right, I'm in. You've sold me. This is the team I want to watch. Like, it's gonna be exciting stuff. The one thing about this though is he gonna have the new Primal Beast set?
That is
Because
the
it's
question.
sick.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. If you're a dinosaur fan like me, it's a good set. It's a very good set.
No,
It's a
good
combination
set.
of like two dinosaurs, right? That's what's great. It's like a combination of a Triceratops and a Stegosaurus. And they just mash them together and it makes it look awesome. It's good stuff. I'm a big fan.
The only thing I wish is that instead of Onslaught, if only it was Trample, just because you know you cast Trample a little bit more than Onslaught, and you know your average Primal Beast game, but
Oh, I
it
haven't
doesn't
even
matter.
looked at
It's
the.
cool.
I have
It's
no
sick.
idea what the effects are yet. I just
Oh.
saw. I just saw what it looked like because I had to reload Dota, and I was like, "That's cool." I have to go cast now. So I don't know what it does in game yet. So I'm really hoping he has it because I want to see the effects.
No, fingers crossed. And if it is King R&D Primal Beast, which it probably should be, then I imagine he's a high roller. He's a baller. He's got to have it. I'd
Oh
be
yeah.
so disappointed if he doesn't. But I think for DogChamp though, I don't really see a reason why you wouldn't want to put the Pango versus Void Spirit mid. So this does hint at it just being a Yaren Zeus, and then DogChamp become one of the early NA teams to actually want to run offlane Marcy, which of course is popular worldwide. It is a huge thing in SEA. It's a huge thing in China, but they decided to actually pull it out here, which I'm very intrigued to see how it actually plays out, because there's a dazzle in the lane, which makes it a little bit harder to pull off, I think. But at the same time, nobody touches this here on the offlane position. So I'm just excited. And it's still pretty much just as good. Unleash is still probably one of the strongest level 6 timings on any hero, period. Still feels pretty unfair, but that's where you are up against the Primal Beast, though. So, you know, there's a little bit of unfairness on both sides.
Oh man. Final bans though, what you see here, what heroes like kind of scream, because both teams need their safe lane. DogChamp obviously have last pick for Stonebank, which is usually pretty good if he gets last pick. He's pretty happy about it. You have the Primal Beast though that you're dealing with. They grab a Sven here, so you can't really go for something like a Phantom Lancer now, which was a potential.
No, and I'm trying to consider, because yeah, the draft is kind of blown by. We haven't really been able to
Yeah.
sit and feel with it.
Yeah,
But
we were a little bit late to, swapping casters. I also haven't eaten or drank food in the last like 3.5, 4 hours. So just trying to, keep things afloat here on Beyond the Summit without going too far over the schedule.
no, and we make it happen. But Sven is interesting. Picking Sven in the down position is usually not something you see. And of course, there are quite a few carry bans, but before that, really preemptively, it was all in the mid lane. So really, Stonebank, I don't think is going to be too upset with whatever hero he decides to play. But I do wonder why HFN Sven? Because again, unless it's in reaction to a TA, I feel like that hero hasn't really had its day in the sun in quite a bit. We've seen it in this tournament, I think 2 or 3 times already, just again in response to that huge physical damage carry. But I think it's really vulnerable, and yeah, they just pick Troll.
Ooh, that is a good pick. It's a
Yeah,
really good troll
classic.
game.
No, it's sick. It's a Stonebank hero. It's something that falls right in line with his playstyle. And that's something that both teams needed in their final carry here, was something that does it all. They need somebody who can kill Roche, who can kill towers, who can actually get the game going, because the rest of the lineup is just all based around killing for both these squads. But yeah, that's where you got to kind of give it to DogChamp here. I think that really Stonebank is going to be happy to farm. He's going to be able to slow down this game. And you're the carry that doesn't have to worry about God Strength. You don't have a hard timer. You're going to be able to say, hey, Sven used God Strength. Let's go kill Roche. They can't contest us. Sven's not a hero. It's where that weakness has always been kind of eating and gnawing at it and making it just not viable in the meta. And DogChamp are going to look to punish you there. Of course, do have to be a little bit afraid, especially of the techies. And of course, you're uncontrollable. You know, you get 3 mines laid down at your feet. You could die pretty easily, but at the same time, I think he's in a great position for this game, but that's also where I think both sides really, we're just going to see a bloodbath. Both carries farm, everybody else is constantly active.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I do. I think this is going to look pretty interesting. Um, I have to feel like Troll Warlord wins a lot of the matchups in this game, but he does have to be very careful of techies once he gets the shard, because like the stun plus the silence, like it makes it pretty easy to like burst him down, especially if King RD is nearby. Oh, I'm excited. This should be a really fun game. There's a lot of fun heroes here.
No, it's gonna be good. And King RD is gonna be under a good bit of pressure. As we've seen, I think the CM really become the answer to a lot of teams in lanes, just because you've got the slight slow, you've got the frostbite, you don't have that much mana, but you know, it ends up working out either way. But that's still gonna be the lane to watch, because every once in a while Primal Beast just still bops you. You miss one spell, you overuse one spell, and then suddenly he's on top of you with trample and you die. Plain and simple.
All right. Whew. I'm still composing myself after that 90-minute game, trying to keep things going here. A lot of voice lines from both teams here as they're just having some fun.
Yeah, no, as much as they were raring to go here, then they immediately paused once we get in. Like, what the hell, guys? You know, maybe we could have taken a little bit more time, but
I know,
yeah, it'll
seriously.
be fun. We'll see. It's the classic, right? Especially for the Brazilian guys. You know, they're always gunning for the Argentinian server, hoping that they can get slightly better ping, but we always end up back on US East. But
Yeah, you only get the Argentinian server if you're playing against another South American team. That's just the only rule. That's the only way.
there you go. QWR. I'm gonna get started and have to see, because there's another pause. Great stuff.
All right, we're gonna try it one more time here.
The quest for ultimate glory continue.
Do you know if Suits is just standing in, or is he kind of like the new mid laner for Wolf Team?
I think he is still standing in for them, just because I don't think we've gotten a definitive answer yet. And I feel like if ADR would show up, then you'd probably want him in lobby over him. But I think that's where FCR might just be their new player. FCR has also been kind of owning. He's really been the standout, at least for me and Kmart. Every single time you get him into a lobby, especially yesterday, he just ends up playing Visage and making King RT play Tusk. I don't know. Guy's kind of a beast.
Yeah, he kind of owns. And of course, we have Destroyer on Pango, which... Do you know much about this guy? Other than the fact that he plays a mean tanker and you should never let it through?
I know he's from the Midwest, and I know that he's a mid laner that's young as hell and willing to kind of beat you down in lane. But he's been owning this entire tournament. He's been the standout for sure on DogChamp, and of course, he's also been the one garnering quite a few clips on the Beyond the Summit Twitter feed. Just always the flashy guy, which I think is a player that Kits wasn't really able to fulfill on that team for the short time he was with DogChamp. Just ended up being a much more stable mid laner, which of course is now working great for them on 5-Rap. But
yeah,
RCY definitely brings the style, which I think has been sorely lacking for DogChamp, especially with a stable carry like Stonebank. Having somebody that just can ball out of control is absolutely necessary.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the mix up of them. A lot of mid laners specifically have been moving around teams here in NA, and I think a lot of them have found a good place, which is nice to see. Pretty reassuring.
Now they just gotta stay together, you know. We'll see in 2 months, you know, whether or not they change again. But no, I agree. I think people are really quite happy with their current positions. Maybe not the cut, but you know, that's a story for another day.
Oof. Yeah, that was a rough one yesterday, I'll be honest. That was probably one of the funniest, you know, mess around and find out, you know, and he found out.
And the evaporation, you know,
Yeah.
where it all just comes falling apart. But we'll see, because the cut also, like, up until that point, were looking really good.
Yeah, they were.
One bad game, and then, you know, that's all it takes for some of these squads. But I mean, they fell in the same pretty much situation as Ravens did. Another team that was super hyped up until that point.
Yeah, that was wild. Ravens just got 2-0'd by Wolf Team, right?
Just taken out. Didn't even have to worry about it. I don't know. And of course, you smoke the cope coming in from group stage, right? You're like, oh, they've got this, right? Right? And then they just don't. No, it was definitely surprising. And what is happening? Third pause, VCX greater than BX. You know what these letters mean, Ricky?
Not even in the slightest. No, I literally can't even think of what it could stand for.
Also, to answer your question from before, he does not have the set on Primal Beast.
Yeah, I
Very
noticed. I didn't want to
unfortunate.
bring it up because I was already really let down and sad about it. But yeah. For those of you who don't know, they did add a new Primal Beast set to the game today in the update, and it's very cool.
Come back and die again.
No, it is super sick. Definitely worth your money. I don't know. I'm definitely gonna try and get up to the Razor this battle pass, but I don't know. Void seems slightly out of reach, but
Dude, it's
we'll
so
see.
weird to me that like they have, you know how like in the last battle pass there was like there was like what, like 3 Arcanas, 3 Persona, like all sorts of crazy number of stuff, and with this like battle pass we have 2. But like they put them just as far away, like it's just as far away as the highest one for the last battle pass. So it's like you spend just as much to get just legitimately 2 less Arcanas, 2 less Personas, and 3 no how many, 9 less Immortals. So it's like it's really bizarre that it's just like I would have expected them to just put it like the Faceless Void at like level 300 and move everything down, because there's just way less stuff actually in the battle pass. But
we'll see, because then there's the whispers of a second battle pass, right? And then there's going to be the follow-up, and who knows what it's going to look like.
Well, there's part 2, which is just the same battle pass, right? Oh, Bloody 9 top lane. Gets caught underneath the tower. That's going to be first blood for FCR. Nicely done. It's a very scary lane, man. The slow plus the silence into the Primal Beast.
No, it's also where Sticky Bomb just almost deceptively lasts a really long time, because you have the follow-up initial slow, and then once it actually lands, it slows you after it explodes. It ends up just being a really easy play. And I think this lane as well, again, I think it's the strongest lane in Dota. I think it trumps Marcy even at this stage, just because you've got the silence aspect, you've got the insane slow. There's just not many heroes to survive it. And I think the one hero that probably could survive being jugged ended up getting banned. So
yeah,
it's a real what can you do moment.
It's a 5-second slow. Like, people don't realize how long that lasts.
No, it is very good. It's very strong. And of course, FCR, maybe it's time to start picking up techies for a lot of these players. That's where come TI time, Jin Q, he played techies when it was terrible. So now that it's good, I don't know. Is that all it takes for LGD to win a TI? Maybe.
Dude, we didn't really talk too much about like the off lane. They ended up running Italiano Gangster on the 3 position, Marcy, and Zeus on the 4. This was definitely not really what I expected, but I guess it kind of makes sense. Top lane Stonebank managed to find a kill, but King RD trying to bring down Stonebank. There's gonna be the root though, and they can stay right on top of him. Yeah, all right. He's okay. Double bracer though, protecting him.
No, yeah, he is very tanky. Takes a lot, but that is the nice thing about this. Of course, everything gets thrown out the window once Primal Beast has Onslaught, but until he gets level 4, double slow is pretty effective at killing his aggression. But where if you're B9, still have to be extremely careful, because all it takes is one misstep and then suddenly he's on top of you and you're dead. But the Tex actually took a step out of the lane to try and refill up his mid's bottle, so there are big rotations already just for the 4-minute runes.
Yeah, and Zeus came over here as well just to make sure that they don't have the ability to contest that 4-minute rune like you're talking about. Italiano Gangster, nice little cheeky toss into the tower, but Sven, tons of armor. He's okay.
Yeah, and I do wonder how effective the offlane Marcy is going to be versus HFN, because, of course, Zeus might not be the best hero in the meta, but at least you can stonewall a lot of these heroes. It's where I feel like having a little bit more magic damage would probably be effective, where the sidekick build just ends up, falling by the wayside. But that's where we'll have to see, because, again, with Marcy, it's all about level 6. It's just getting Unleashed and then killing a hero, because you can do that. Pretty much any hero in Dota. I'm
going to be curious if he does go the max sidekick build, because a lot of times when I was playing this as a core, I was maxing Rebound. Because you actually just farm like very fast with max Rebound, but they did nerf Soul Ring, so it's really hard to keep up with it in mana cost now.
No, it's difficult, and it ends up being, I think, just a little bit too difficult. A lot of people like getting the value point in just Rebound, just getting 2 points, just to have that CD a little bit more like the previous level 1 skill, but The nerfs have definitely been felt, I think, a little bit more, especially for Marcy. Just doesn't feel nearly as uncontested as it was before.
Oh, absolutely. And Sooth's mid lane is having a really rough time here, but I mean, they're both sitting pretty low. Ooh, that is an awkward ward. He just planted ward sentry here on Destroyer, so he's gonna grab that one in a moment.
All he has to be worried about, or not even worried, but just pushing in the lane probably and then making his move. But RCY will actually also get his level 6 before Sooth's and force the Void Spirit all the way back to base. Massive success.
Yeah. Is he gonna get that ward anytime soon? Meanwhile, top lane, King RD gonna try and dive B9 here. Regrets that one as he ends up going down first. FCR will again find the trade, but that's a pretty big win for the top lane.
No, punishes, gets Stonebank even closer to the level 6. And funny thing about Troll Warlord is you don't really want to rotate out and make that trade too early. Really, only once that mid laner starts showing up in your lane do you have to leave. But, oh yeah, it's very low. It does get a bottle refill though. Kind support friend. Oh, they're fighting for this.
They actually have a sentry here on Crystal Maiden. I'm going to be surprised if he doesn't place it to try and just get rid of that. Wait a minute. He's going to get chain stunned out. They might get this kill. They do indeed. Sooth goes down. He just stuck around a little bit too long. Thought he was stronger than he was.
No, just gets punished. Just doesn't respect it. And of course, it's a level 2 Frostbite. It's the Frostbite build that everybody's been going for. And keeping the card alive too. This is a great rotation in from B9.
He has to walk too.
Work. Yeah, no, this is a really bad situation for the Void Spirit.
Orb of Corrosion on the tower. Yeah, with that catapult, this is doing a ton of damage. And they're not going to get it, but I mean, that's pretty dang value.
No, by the time that 10-minute card comes around, if you don't have to rotate the entire lineup for that mid tower, it feels pretty great. It's also where to give a little bit of XP over to the techies, and FCR is certainly happy with the way his game is going. He's been getting all the kills out of the top, and now gets to take over the mid lane for a little bit of XP, but getting Sooth's active is going to be very important, because otherwise, the game doesn't really get started, and without the mid laner coming to that Trolls lane, Stonebank just farms and probably looks for his Battle Fury. You know, he's not immediately rushing for it, as he has in a lot of his other games. He's actually stopping for a Falcon Blade, but we'll see. This is actually a very different build than what Stonebank typically goes for.
Bottom lane here in the river, a lot of fighting as FCR goes in, trying to chase Yarn down. Will be able to get that initial damage out, but Yarn's still alive, and Rolling Thunder in from Destroyers. You know, try and find KJ. We'll bump him up onto the high ground, though, and all of this just to try and... Oh, he ends up not picking up the rune. A little bit of a mistake there from Destroyer. FCR does end up finishing off the kill there onto Yarn. Swashbuckle on forward. They get the kill onto Sooth, so in the end, all worth it. And now in comes Italiana Gangster. Presses Unleash, and there was a techies there.
Yeah, he's in the ground now. Yeah, Unleash is still absurd, and pinging out the Sven, but it shouldn't be able to make anything happen. But all in all, very successful. And even though you got the haste rune, you did just immediately pop it and then kill it. So now like the Void Spirit can utilize that to get aggressive again. And Sooth is having a real rough game still.
They really want to chase HFN. Do they have the rebound range? Oh, just off the mark, but Phase Boots in a second, maybe able to close the gap here with Pango rotating in as well. There's gonna be the pullback into another route, and HFN's gonna go down. This is a big pickoff.
Man,
Top lane though.
Has just been so involved in, yeah.
Trade for Stonebank.
No, that's the silence coming into play there. FCR just kind of owns you with that one, but no, B9 on DogChamp though, he's been involved in 5 of their 6 kills. He's exactly where he needs to be. It is sad that you lose Stonebank just because the duo is strong enough just barely to take you out without any contestation from the Void Spirit, but now it's probably time to get these tier 1s going. I think both sides are looking for trades, but Dazzle. Oh.
He might have been able to TP on out as there was no real mana left on these heroes, but maybe just didn't look at it. Yeah, ends up going down there in the jungle. And top tower and bottom tower both just going to be traded here as Stonebank has made his way bottom. He does not want to be near this Primal Beast techies anymore, it would seem.
No, definitely don't want to. But it's also we're 10 minutes up. Your Pango's level 9 right now. It's Sooth's level 7. See in the river. Illusion Rin spawns bottom, but Well, now you just want to bring the team fight to Wolf Team. This is where that 10-minute cart's going to be problematic. But wait, what's Italiano up to?
That is a very good question. He's going to go for FCR. He does end up getting the kill, but King RD with the trade and Destroyer to here clean it up. One more auto attack. Ends up just using the shield crash. So, I mean, that's pretty okay.
Yeah. I mean, you bring Italiano into the 1v2 and you basically win it, and then just have the cleanup from your Pango there, and your tower doesn't die. So now HFN, he will pretty freely just get it after the waves get pushed into him, but I still think DogChamp are kind of out-rotating you right now, and Wolf Team are really unable to get themselves very active. And of course, it comes down to the Void Spear and the Dazzle just not really been able to make those early game plays, but they're really starting to slow down.
Oh, B9. There's a dinosaur coming after you. He's going to get him. And that's a pretty rough one there. Not really any way out. I'm so glad that Pulverize is not broken by Aether Remnant anymore. That was the dumbest thing.
Oh, and I heard the theory crafting as well. Just get a Bloodseeker as well, rupture him, do whatever you want. HFN, he's going to get traded out, but I mean...
Yeah, he ain't going to survive this one. Oh, he gets the... Yeah, he's still dead. I was like, you got the mine, but they still have too much damage.
Hey, but soul kill, you feed the streak to the techies, and you get 3 TPs, and now you're gonna lose your mid tower pretty much for free. So you take that every day of the week. RCY is just super annoying, and always just able to make a lot of these plays.
Do you pop the Unleash for the tower here? No, you don't have to creep wave. You have to just kind of wait.
It's a little bit slower, and I guess they will just bring the Sven in and then make it even more annoying by just bringing the bodies, but I still feel like Wolf Team are playing very reactively. They're just not really getting a lot of those kills that DogChamp have already been able to get. There's a huge stack, though, that it looks like the Sven will just angle and then take it to the triangle. This is where DogChamp would love to smoke, but they also have not been playing too much there. They do have a ward, though. They do see him farm the large camp. I'm real surprised
they're
not
pinging
walking
him
over
right now. Yeah, they really want to get the mid tower, I think is what it is, so they can try and invade. And then in the mid lane, in comes Italiano Gangster. Manages to get his hands onto the Dazzle, but he's in some trouble. He's gone in deep. B9 with a nice ult, but the silence there from FCR to cancel. Marcy doesn't get the Unleash or the sidekick off, and B9 ends up dying as well. So without any of your other cores here, it feels a little bit awkward. Rolling Thunder now coming through here from Destroyers, King RD. Well, wait a minute. There's no way he gets out of this, right? He does have the onslaught. Okay, you've got to be joking.
No, and he's trying to heal up because there is a Thunder God's Wrath, but 100 mana away, and they survive. No, that's DogChamp just spreading the lineup out a little bit too thin. If RCY is there on the initial jump onto Marcy, maybe you get a sidekick Unleash off with him rolling around, but because, again, they stretch themselves out so thin, they lose that fight really hard.
Yeah, they were farming too much, I would seem, on the other heroes. Like, Stonebank is having a great time, but they're not really slowing down this Sven at all, and he's just going to go clear up this Ancient Side like we were talking about. The God Strength was popped, and he is now top of the net worth chart by a pretty good margin.
No, he's very happy. That's the second God Strength he used in there as well, so it's not like DogChamp didn't know it was going on. It's just, again, them misusing their heroes a little bit. And now, of course, HFN, he's not only going to get active a lot sooner, but he's also building to be an initiator, as you always do on the Sven. So you have, yet again, another playmaker to make these moves while Stonebank is farming. That's why I think Stonebank goes for the Maelstrom, but we'll have to see if that's a punish.
Ooh, nice root there onto the Primal Beast. Destroyer with the Rolling Thunder as well, but is there anyone here that can stop them? It's going to be Destroyer chasing after Dazzle, and they will commit that freezing field and a ton of damage. Oh my gosh, he's got the Lance of Pursuit. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. That'll kill almost any support right now. Italiano Gangster looking for more. See if he can get his hands on Deuce, but won't be able to. And now finally, after a lot of time, they might be able to take down this mid tower.
Yeah, there's too many heroes, don't have Glyph. But yeah, Lance of Pursuit, it's ridiculous. It's great on Pango, great on Ember Spirit. Just simply one of the best tier 1 neutral items for these heroes. And it's going to be pretty annoying to play against, but I'll have to see where they make their move next. Because this Diffusal Blade, I mean, RCY is just looking to bully anybody and everybody right now.
Yeah, does manage to get FCR. He's going to toss him back in, and it will be a Italiano Gangster that helps pick him up. And now that Unleash is popped, King RD, you are not getting away from this Marcy. That slow is just way too much. Thunder God's Wrath comes through just to make sure that they secure the kill. So 2 will go the way of DogChamp, now 19-4. Or, I'm sorry, 9-14.
19-4. That'd be a hell of a game. That would be a
It'd
great
be a
way
little
to
bit
go.
more one-sided.
Yeah, after the 85-minute one, we go for this one. But I cannot believe that Sooths has gone for this Yule Scepter. That is really surprising. This is the old build on Void Spirit. He has just decided to not look at the Witchblade at all and wants another kiting tool for the Troll Warlord, I guess, but I don't like that at all.
I guess it also helps find Pango, right? Because like you can do the Yules right into the Remnant, so he can't get away with like Swash, or you can interrupt him from trying to channel that Rolling Thunder. But yeah, it is weird. Most Void Spirits we have seen have gone just straight damage.
No, and of course, now all of your item timings are that much slower, and now, okay, do you have enough damage with your techies?
It's a little bit of a bait with Marcy. They knew they popped on the ward and techies. He's going to be able to get that freezing field, but baited there thanks to that nice shallow grave, and they've got the pulverize available. The stun comes through. Destroy ends up sniping the techies. Very nice. Now with the Rolling Thunder, he's looking for his target. Pulverize on the backside does connect onto Italiano Gangster again, and Destroyer trying to create some havoc here in the mid lane, but has to swashbuckle away. Wait a minute, there's a troll coming. Stonebank just runs right into them, pops the ult, the roots right onto the Primal Beast. He can't get anything. Italiano Gangster trying to run away, but the onslaught, it might be enough. Is he gonna survive? It looks like he will, and now Stonebank's the one in trouble. They're gonna collapse the Stormhammer on top of him, but you're out of mana now on the Void Spirit, and they will turn it around. The Sven now being in trouble. He doesn't get to use anything. Dude, the mana burn from that defusal just owned like the entire side of Wolf team.
No, and I wish I could look at the stats, honestly, for that in the fight recap, because, yeah, KJ had no spells to give. Your Void Spirit had an Arcane Rune, but as soon as it was gone, all of your spells become too expensive. And sure, you're able to walk out with King RD, but the fight just dragged on much too long, and then you don't find the punish onto Stonebank, who really had no business being there, but because of how long it is, and again, with Sidekick coming through, it just works out for you. Now DogChamp get the finish off this next set of items, and this is a huge set of items for them. This is probably going to be Blink Dagger on RCY. Yep, it is. It's going to be BKB on Italiano, and probably BKB on Stonebank, and then they're going to force you to fight them in the pit. In Wolf Team, do you have enough items to be ready to fight that timing? Not sure. You have a BKB on King RD, but...
Yeah, it's like you need Primal Beast BKB and maybe a Blink Dagger. You've got the Sven, who did go back for the Echo Saber.
This'll come in handy.
And the Sanj, he's got a Blink queued up. But he needs a BKB as well, right? Like, you do have to be able to stay on top of these heroes. B9 mid lane gets the root onto the Void Spirit as King RD comes in here on the Primal Beast. He's got the Pulverize. He's just going to go ahead and immediately channel the Freezing Field, but it's not enough. He'll take that quick kill as Destroyer. We'll go ahead and grab an Illusion Rune.
Yeah, but even though they get the kill with their heroes, they can't hit the mid tower in the slightest. They need to get more than that, and that's why they're set up right now. RCY needs to be careful.
Look at Italiano Gangster.
Yeah.
He's coming for the wraparound. They do have a ward that is going to scout him, though, so he needs to be careful, and he will now know of the ward.
You know, I feel like you should get the ping out there, and with CM coming back in, probably get some sentries in the river.
Yeah,
but
B9 knows. This guy's a gamer.
during this entire time, though, you're just so poised right now that Yarn is just taking over the dead lane. He's getting really farmed on this Zeus, and the rest of the lineup is being active, and oh, Italiano did miss.
Went for a rebound play.
Yeah.
Dude, B9 is just on the money with these D wards. This is ridiculous. King RD goes for the Pulverize, trying to get the D ward himself. He will be able to, but it's going to cost them the Primal Beast slide. He's going to turn out with BKB. There's going to be a nice Shallow Grave to keep him alive, but Destroyer is chasing. He's going to look for KJ here on the Dazzle. Italiano Gangster will help clean him up, and Destroyer, he did manage to find the Primal Beast. Swashbuckle will do it, maybe? They get the kill with the Zeus. Nice stun from the Techies, able to find one, but can they find more? Marcy disarmed for the moment, but there's going to be the ult from the Troll Warren. They've just beat down HFN. A 4-for-1 trade in the mid lane, and maybe a tier 2 tower, and just actually, they could just go Roche, huh?
Yeah, and that's what they absolutely should do. They didn't use Stonebank BKB. They did use his ultimate, but with Sidekick, this is why the Troll Warlord feels so nice. You just immediately go in, take that next objective, and there is no sadder situation for HFN. That is the most depressing way your Sven could make his debut onto this game. If you walk in, pop God Strength, hit a hero for 2 seconds, and then you're dead because you're getting chained up, you're getting stuck by that Berserker's Rage, and now you've got an Aegis on Stonebank. So Troll is out of the danger zone. This is that buffer that you always talk about with heroes like Troll, Morphling, Void, where you can afford to wait now. He doesn't need to pick it up.
Yeah,
there you go.
there
There you go. But now you have that buffer that Stonebank might not need to pop his BKB first life. Can't afford to wait a little bit longer, and especially when it comes to sieging these towers, now you have to be so careful with what you actually use on that first life, because Wolf Team will run out of spells very quickly.
Actually smoked up here on DogChamp. They're looking for these heroes. I think they saw HFN like really deep bottom. King RD hiding in the trees for the moment. He also needs to be careful of this ward. But mid lane, maybe they go on to Zeus. He's got the Blink Dagger. Ooh, Italiano Gangster misses for the moment. The Dispose back, but Yules will buy him some space and able to Astral Step away right into the hands of the Shallow Grave. So he's going to survive.
Yeah, and cheap on both sides, so everybody should just go back to farming. But once Stonebank gets this bottom wave all the way in, then this bottom tier 2 is going to be that siege, and even King RD, yeah, has to make his way out. But look at Yaren. He's got more gold than the Void Spirit right now.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Aghanim
where did he
Scepter.
get this money?
He's just been farming top. He's just not a care in the world. He's just playing Zeus.
Yaren is probably one of like the greediest 4 players in the scene, or in the region at least. And it's like, every time I see him in a game, he just has a ton of net worth. And I'm like, I don't know where you got this.
No, he just finds it on his own. And of course, it doesn't mean that he's taking it away from someone, which would probably be Italiano Gangster, but that's why I think slotting him onto this Marcy feels so nice. Just ends up balancing out the lineup, and smoke pop, now they see everything.
Oh my gosh,
SCR's in, though.
SCR's in for sure, but the BKBs come through, and without being able to get this Thunder God's Wrath off, a lot of damage is going to be missing. But Destroyer goes in anyway. Can Italiano Gangster help him? He has no ult. He has the sidekick, but yeah, Pango just goes down right away. And B9's got no mana to work with. They've still got the Shallow Grave to protect this techies. Looks like he'll eventually tick on down, but I mean, that's a rough trade in the mid lane just for a techies.
You know, you pop the Unleash, you lose 2, just got a little bit too close with the Pango, and that kills your push a little bit. You did get that bottom tier 2, though, because Stonebank just stayed focused, was able to get immediately onto that objective. But still, time, and a lot of time that HFN was actually able to finish up a BKB, so he is preparing himself more and more in this game.
Bottom lane. Stonebank's up to Assange and Yasha. Where are we at on the Sven? So he did just go ahead and rush the BKB instead, and he's going back for the Blink now. Interesting. Okay. I think you said that.
Oh, he just wants to be more ready for the
Oh my gosh,
no,
first hit root.
root.
Is he gonna get him again? All right, yeah. Sometimes you just roll the numbers. And Stonebank gets himself almost 600 gold for his troubles.
That's just the most casual kill in the entire world. And Stonebank, I think the only reason he's still down here is because there is just that much farm, but as soon as he can refocus onto mid, I mean, Stonebank is a mad dog right now. He just wants to keep on pushing for these objectives. Mid left on Aegis as well. DogChamp do have to maybe pester that high ground bottom just to force their opponents back into the base, because this creep cut stuff going on mid doesn't really benefit them very much, but they do have to kind of refocus here. They have to either choose, let's force out bottom, or we look for the rats, and they're going to look for the rats, and we'll Blink Dagger. Caught the Void Spirit off guard, but he is still Void Spirit.
I mean, maybe B9 can get in range for the root, and he does, but he's got a Yules and one more Astral Step available. So he's going to be fine. Up onto the high ground, though. Stonebank's looking for KJ, and with the help of Destroyer, this will be a dead dazzle. There's the root. You know it's coming eventually. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, it's going to be the TP out there from the Void Spirit, so he's going to survive. Thunder God's Wrath, though, reveals FCR. He's like, oh, no.
Oh boy, that's sad. That's unfortunate. But they're not done yet. They're still looking for King RD, and King RD...
He pings, he gets pinged instantly.
Here.
He's like, get out, brother. Mid lane Soothes, trying to do some damage onto the Stonebank. He's got the Aegis, though. In 30 seconds, it was going to expire, and B9's here on the backside. Ready to offer some assistance. Stonebank got that BKB, turns it on. The Roots, of course, piercing BKB now. Primal Beast. All right, that's a good way to waste it. Thunder, they just burst down in with the God Strength, and now Troll Warlord in some trouble. Rolling Thunder, though, from Destroyer, doing some work. BKB from HFN. He makes it up onto the high ground. Italiano Gangster can't really find his target, but HFN's BKB still good for just another second. Can they get Stonebank out? He ends up dying, and another Shallow Grave here dropped onto the Sven. This time Italiano Gangster with his own BKB, trying to hold his ground. They finally take down the Sven. FCR will get on top of this Pangolier, but Italiano Gangster doing some work. Wait a minute, is Destroyer out? Okay, just barely. Suits unable to get on top of him, but just a sliver of HP here on King RD. He needs help here on Italiano Gangster. The Unleash, never mind, it's still running. It's brand new. He's going to take these targets one by one. He's got to blink up in 1 second. Will he continue the chase? He will, but he will not find him. Dude, what a chaotic fight. 3 for 3.
No. You end up popping both your BKBs on the carries around the same time. A lot of wasted time, actually, and large in part because KJ gets so many of those Graves off, but then so much chaos in between. Just a combination of the Marcy running around trying to stay on target, while FCR's throwing silences left and right. If King RD goes down at the beginning of that fight, though, Wolf team cannot look for the re-engage. That is very breakneck there. If KJ doesn't get that Grave off, they simply can't go for the follow-up, and then DogChamp just run over them. But at least they get something, and a lot of that gold actually fell into the Void Spirit's pocket. So now he's got a full F-Blade, which means that Stonebank's next team fight is going to be under a lot more pressure. He actually can't stay on someone. If you get that connection from the Void Spirit, then you start to get kited even harder.
Yeah. I mean, they have an 8K lead, but it feels very close this game.
No, it's dead even. And a large part of that is just how much net worth that the Zeus has. The bottom line is definitely brought up a lot from DogChamp, but mid
lane, they get the troll, but the BKB instantly to try and keep himself alive. Suits may be in some trouble here. He has no spells left to get out of this one, so Shallow Grave will buy him a little bit of time. There's the Dissimulate. Whoa, he goes north. All right, he's out. Man, KJ has been owning it with the Shallow Graves this game.
No, he's keeping his team in the game. There is a great high ground ward here, though, so might lose KJ.
Italiano Gangster found him, yeah.
Yeah.
With that Unleash. He's still got his BKB available. He might stay here. Yeah, and he just kills Suits. He did not expect the BKB. And, yeah, he's going to get the Dispose there to cancel that onslaught. And with the rest of the team coming, they're going to continue the chase. BKB out from King RD. HFN, he's realizing he doesn't think he can fight this anymore. The Dispose pulls him right back in. You've got Yarn here on the Zeus just to kite this guy out, but they're afraid to dive anymore. I think now that Techies is here, this guy does a lot of damage.
No, it's so funny. Both teams have high grounds here, but which high ground ward is more impactful right now? And there's the sentry, but RCY, Lincoln's, he just bought it.
Oh, it's doing so much work. Oh, the onslaught cancels the stun. Italiano Gangster, though, managing to keep himself alive, and they've got it, HFN. No save this time. The Shallow Grave used elsewhere. They managed to finish off that Primal Beast, but Destroyer, he's forward, looking for more. The Blink to stun down too. Nice swashbuckle connecting onto both these heroes. KJ is going to go down, and FCR trying to just make his way out of this one. It looks like he'll be able to. Italiano Gangsters are just going to TP on home.
No, everybody gets to survive, but no, they realize just a little bit too late that high ground ward is there, and then as well, your Sven just unfortunately has his BKB coming up right now, just decides to go for a kill that doesn't pan out, also because RCY just baited the hell out of you with that Lincoln Sphere purchase.
Yeah.
Literally bought it from their shop, wasted Stormhammer, even got clipped by the Onslaught still, but it's just not enough damage, and now 13k up, controlling all of this area around the pit, 30 seconds on Roche. I don't know if Wolf Team are really going to be able to make a substantial contest.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. The Lincoln Sphere is really, honestly, a pretty sick purchase this game. Zeus has now passed the Void Spirit in net worth, as he is now working towards an Octarine, and he is getting pretty close.
No, it's funny, and now all you have to do is make sure you check it at that early timer, as we've seen some teams, better than others, but that's where 1 second here. All they got to do is walk in, and I genuinely don't think Wolf Team should or will be ready to make this contest happen. And now Stonebank walks in, he's going to see it, and here we go. Rolling to the pit.
Another F-Blade picked up, this one on the Techies, so you do have, some more of those to work with. And Techies with Ethereal Blade is terrifying, right? If you don't have any sort of BKB or Dispel or anything to get you out of the burst, you're in trouble. Tyler Gangster goes in, just pops the BKB on top of HFN. He's like, I'll fight you, man. I do not care. King RD forced to pop his zone, tries to run over, gets bashed. Oh no, and now the root's through. Gonna try and turn around with the Pulverize, but it's not enough. And Destroyer, he's zoned out the whole rest of the team. Thunder God's Wrath finishes off KJ. Dissimulates away, but it's out of Gangster with a perfect prediction. And FCR goes in, they've got the Ethereal Blades, they're trying to do what damage they can, but they get themselves another kill, 3 for 0. Sick plays from DogChamp all around.
No, they just have too much network. They have too many items. They've got double Basher, almost triple Basher, going to be finished on the lineup. So your BKBs don't really help you from getting kited. And now, I mean, you get a 3-piece and then immediately walk back into the pit. And Stonebank is like, yeah, I'll take an Aegis. Yeah, this will work. I mean, DogChamp just has so much luxury at this point. At this stage of the game, Wolf Team, I don't know. It's where you need a little bit more burst damage. You need to connect on your heroes just a bit more, but all of their BKBs are chucked down. I think both are 6 seconds at this point. Your team fights are just lasting too long, and then DogChamp take you and then don't let you go.
That's exact.
I was trying to think like I was like, it didn't look like Sven was slowed at all from the Unleashed, and I forgot that they just patched out in the last patch. No longer piercing BKB. That was quite funny though.
Oh,
aggressive blink from Destroyer, but it's perfectly done as he actually getting right on the front line, and they're just gonna pop the BKBs. Destroyer actually holds off on the Rolling Thunder for a little bit. Italian Gangster trying to chase. Oh, he gets the blink out here on HFN. That's huge. And King RD, he has no TP for 30. FCR does manage to take down Yaren. Okay, that's pretty big. Zeus on the backside needs to be careful. He does have a Yule still to keep himself alive, but they're going to definitely chase. Swashbuckle on forward. He has one more Astral Step, but Italian Gangster does not want to go up onto the high ground. A 1-for-1 trade. Overall, pretty good for Wolf Team. So they get, what, 3 BKBs? 2 BKBs?
Yeah, they get a decent amount. They do run past a lot of their creep waves, so Stonebank has to work for this mid tower maybe a little bit more, but yeah, Wolf Team, they're not afraid here. Yeah, they've got their wards still. They want the fight. Great toss, though, and now, well, gotta be a little bit scared. 15 seconds on the Rolling Thunder.
Tower is under attack.
All right. Mid lane, tier 2 tower being chipped down here by Stonebank. Just still got that Aegis for another 3 minutes here. God, that sidekick heal is so good. So you get the talent? Oh,
Yep.
sidekick lifesteal is at 15 now. Okay. They did nerf it to 15% bonus. All right.
Oh, and still looking to cut those waves mid, but during all this, Sven is being hunted right now. Italiano Gangster, is he just gonna go for the solo kill? Oh,
Absolutely. Oh, no. That is real rough. Yeah, pop the Mask of Madness at the worst possible time.
You pop mom, you get jumped, he pings out the ward, but it's still too late, and you're dead for 80 seconds. Now your outer towers, sure, you're going to be able to maybe hold on to top for a little bit longer, because the Void Spirit's already making moves for those creep waves, but I feel like this is where DogChamp, do you want to just go up high ground right now and force the Void Spirit back? I feel like that's the move.
Destroyer just jumping on in. He's like, all right, I'll find someone. Gets on top of KJ, and honestly, rolls away. Swashbuckle. Oh, the miss. Okay, I thought there was no chance KJ goes down here, but sick coordination from DogChamp. They get themselves a really important kill. Stonebank's just gonna go ahead and pop that Rampage, try and give himself that bonus status resistance to work with. But I guess ranged is attack speed, huh? Never mind. Unless he swapped. I don't quite remember. It's a weird spell. Tana Gangster goes in, gets the grab there onto the techies. He's gonna go ahead and turn his attention onto the Primal Beast, and they do just get the kill right away onto FCR. Plenty of cleave damage coming out from this team. They'll finish up the last barracks in this mid lane. And back on out.
No, if that was just them all utilizing the death timer of that Sven, just perfectly executed, perfectly utilized. But now, get to retreat. Maybe your Aegis ticks down here, but you're slotting out this Aegis for a full Satanic. So Stonebank is still super happy with his position. It's almost impossible for him to die at this point. It feels like you're going to need to find that perfect situation where he's stuck on a hero that's going to get shallow graved and then ends up wasting everything. The problem is, even if he's hitting a Hear the Shell Grave, though, with Sidekick, with Satanic, you're just going to heal right back up to full. You have to kite him. You have to use something else. And HFN, he's got Daedalus, so maybe that will help him just stay on this backline if he can find the backline, but that's also where items like Force Staff, Octarine Core, Yarn still being as rich as he is, you're just never finding the Zeus because he's not there. He's just
B9 has a
nimbusing,
BKB.
using his ulti. Yeah, they've got everything.
BKB Force Staff, he just needs the shard now. Yeah, they do have the high ground. You are right. The smoke's popping in the mid lane. Stonebank's gonna be able to find FCR here, and he just gets blown up to start this one. And the question is, can they get more? Oh, B9 able to Force Staff away. They actually forced the ult out of HFN, but that's it. Troll Warlord goes in, just destroying that Sven, and we might see the GG come out, and there it is. Yeah, HFN calls it. He knows this one is over.
Oh man, HFN. You get your Medusa banned out in the first phase, and then this is your follow-up game. I mean, this just did not look good. And of course, the Troll World, it's a perfect pick from DogChamp. They know exactly what they need to do, and they get the perfect hero for Stonebank. But then also, Wolf Team just dropped the ball. I think especially Sooths just wasn't able to really push his advantage with his Primal Beast. They really only made 1 or 2 plays, and then when you're sitting, staring across your opponents at that mid tower, and then they just keep on picking you off, and they keep on finding farm, well, Yarn takes the top lane, Stonebank takes the bottom lane. I mean, they just end up richer than you. And then everything just becomes an easy team fight for DogChamp to just win the team fight, and then Stonebank goes into the pit. I mean, it's just too perfect.
Yeah, it really is. It just seemed like a super clean game from them all around. They just hit their timings. B9 had some super sick rotations early on in this game, honestly. Like, he struggled a little bit top, like had a couple deaths to that combo, which, you know, makes sense. But he was like level 5 at what, like 8 minutes or something as the 5 position after just like a couple rotations mid, finding some big support kills, ends up killing the Void Spirit even once. Like, it was some sick plays from him all around. And yeah, what can you do against this troll? Super sick last pick. But we'll see. It's just game 1 of game 2. What do you think? Can they bounce back here on Wolf Team? Is it just a draft thing?
Yeah, I think they can definitely do something more. And of course, now they have last pick, you know, fingers crossed that they didn't choose first pick and then this is what happened in their draft. But I just hope that HFN actually gets to play because this was Wolf Team without a carry. HFN was just helpless in this game. But again, fingers crossed game 2. But not saying I don't want to see more from DogChamp because I would definitely want to see an RCY hero coming in first phase again to just kind of wipe the deck because that'd be a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely. Right on. All right. Well, we're going to go to a small break and we'll be back with game 2 of our last series today. Of course, it is DogChamp versus Wolf Team. I'm rkryptic here with ET. We'll see you after the break.